Big thank you to Audible for sponsoring this video.
Hello?
Hey Mum, do you remember that Christmas in 2005 where you bought me my very first DS?
Yes.
Do you remember I probably woke you up at like 3 a.m. because of how excited I was?
Yes.
But you still love me though, right? Mum? Well, that's emotional. Hey everyone, how's it going? Elliot here, and welcome back to the Retro Future. Today, I'm going to be repairing my very first Nintendo DS console. This is actually it. This, unfortunately, is something I recently acquired on eBay, and we're going to use the DS in here to fix this. But this is the games console that started it all off for me, really. I mean, I had Game Boys before this, but I was absolutely fixated by this device. I played it every single day. I played Mario Kart, obviously, because it came with it, but I also played Animal Crossing religiously with my brother. I've got very, very fond memories of this device, and I figured because recently Nintendo have completely discontinued the DS line, I thought I would bring this thing out and give it a little bit of love on this channel. But it's really cool to me that I've actually still got my exact Nintendo DS that I had when I was younger, and it still works, albeit the hinge is completely damaged. I'm only going to need to replace the top front piece. It should just be this that I need to replace, which means that pretty much everything is still going to be original. However, obviously that one piece isn't going to be original, but the thing is, this is really dangerous because now the only thing supporting the screen is this, and in there is the ribbon cable for the top screen. So I want to make sure that that is all preserved and I don't end up damaging the top screen, because that is the screen I looked at when I was younger. So here's my little Animal Crossing. We'll take a look at that at the end of the video. So here is the original Nintendo DS. This came out in 2005, I believe, and yeah, this is the Mario Kart bundle pack, and it's the exact one that I had when I was younger. Now, although this whole box and everything is in really good condition, unfortunately the inside is not as it would have been when it was first ever released, but it's pretty much the way it was. So you've got the charger here, an all black charger. I think it's actually got the exact same power supply and plug than the Game Boy Advance SP. I'm pretty certain. It came with a little lanyard, which is quite cool. I don't think any of us use that lanyard, although let me know in the comments if you use the lanyard. Just comment lanyard with a smiley face and I'll heart the comment. And then here's a bunch of manuals and stuff like that. And yeah, obviously we don't really need to go through those. And then of course we have the DS itself. Now this DS is in really, really good condition. There would have also been a copy of Mario Kart in here, but I don't have that. This DS is in very good condition. It's not going to be in as good condition by the end of this video because I will have taken the parts out of it, but I didn't want to order an aftermarket DS shell because I've heard very bad things about them. Maybe we can check that out in a second channel video coming up. But what's really great about this device is if you actually look here, there's loads of wear where the DS owner has been pressing the buttons, and the screen has a bunch of scratches on it as well from the stylus. But what's awesome about that is everything is in such good condition, indicating that not only has this been very used, but it's also been very well looked after, and I massively rate that because yeah, that's just a really heartwarming thing to see, because there's a story behind every single console. Who purchased it? Who was it for? How did they earn that money? What was the occasion? And yeah, those sorts of things really make me very happy inside. So unfortunately, this process begins by us trying to peel off these 4 little screw covers here, which is a very, very tricky thing to do. It's a tricky thing to pull off because you can end up really damaging the front of the shell. Now, the other thing as well is you can damage those little sticky screw covers as well, which is not ideal. So the way I do it is I grab the thinnest flathead bit that I have, and what you want to be doing is really making sure that all of your pressure is sort of going forward, because if you're prying, you're going to damage the shell. So make sure you're just sort of pushing forward, and it should actually sort of come off. The other thing you can do is sort of cut round and down and over, all of those different words, and you can actually get it off with very minimal damage. Now I'm going to try and zoom the camera in and do that on the other one. Right, let's try on this one here. It's quite difficult to keep things in frame as well as actually do the work. There we go. So that has now come off, and there's not a lot of damage to it, maybe a tiny little bit, but hey, it's a very, very difficult process to do. So if you can get those off without ripping them at all, then great. And if you do the same as me, and you're buying two, ultimately going to do it 4 times, surely by the time you've done the second 2, they're going to be better, so you can just use those ones. These ones are exactly the same as well, they're just a bit thicker, so that means they're harder to tear, but they're then also harder to get off sometimes. So here we go, let's try this again. Oh, there we go, that wasn't too bad. Although, if you look, you may be able to see I slightly scratched the edge of that. It's pretty much negligible, but it's just a tiny little nick on it. But one more, here we go. So that is that done. Now we just got to remove these 4 screws, and hopefully what's going to happen is we can slide off the back. Although I'm still not sure if we're going to have to take the whole thing apart yet. Here we go, let's see. How is this going to work then? What happens now? I don't think there's any broken parts. Yeah, I think we do. We have to take the whole thing apart. We do have to take the whole thing apart, that is confirmed. But yeah, I managed to get that off really okay. But yeah, we do have to take the entire thing apart, which is just a bit annoying. Let's go ahead and remove the battery cover. Very simple, Phillips screw. Comes off, and we can remove the battery. My battery's still okay, which is good. Don't want to have to replace everything. Next up, we have a series of tri-wing screws around the outside of the shell. So let's go ahead and remove those. Perfect. Okay, that's good. This actually looks like it's in really good condition. Good job, younger Elliot. Next up, we've got a bunch of Phillips screws. Very nicely, Nintendo actually circle the Phillips screws, so we can just go ahead and undo those. Okay, now using a little spudger pry tool, I'm now going to unhook all of the ribbon cables and stuff that I see. We should be able to just lift out this motherboard. Actually, there's a Phillips screw hiding just in front of the cartridge here, so we can go ahead and undo that. What have we still got connected? Oh, nothing. Okay, everything just comes out. That's nice. We can set that to the side. Okay, let's go ahead and remove our L&R triggers, and we should see somewhere a screw, and yes, I can see it. It's actually underneath this ribbon cable. How do we get to that? Ah, okay, I've got an idea. So I think what we're going to have to do is peel back the foam that's here, because that's holding the ribbon cable down there. Okay, and then maybe there's a bit of adhesive on the back of the ribbon cable. Yeah, there is. This turned out to be quite difficult. So as you can see, there's a little square of adhesive just underneath. Now we can unscrew that screw. And what happens next? Oh, okay. There's a piece coming off. That's just come off. This little hinge piece. Okay, now we can pull this ribbon cable through. Good grief. This really is actually quite a tricky process. And then we've also got this little probably antenna cable as well to come through. That hinge probably has to come out, I imagine. How does that come out? Oh, it just comes out by force. Surely it doesn't have to come the whole way out. Yes, it doesn't. Okay. Wow. Look, it's out. That is, that's not an easy process. Right, I'm going to click my fingers and I would have done the same to the other one. And I'm done. So that wasn't fun. There's a lot of work that has to be done in order to take that apart, but we are there now. Okay, so we have to remove all of this stuff, which is fairly straightforward. I've taken off the front piece, and so we're ready basically to just move all the stuff over. It should be fairly straightforward. So, the DS is not a nice thing to take apart. I can report. It's probably not actually worth it, if I'm honest with you. It's really nasty to do. There's just so many things going on. Now, I don't really have a great way of taking this screen out. You should never really pry screens out. But these shells are very brittle. The plastic in the past has just completely disintegrated on me. So I have just been gently prying the screens up and obviously making sure that I'm doing it very carefully. Okay, so I'm just going to blow the dust out of here. Like that. Make sure that screen's fully pressed forward in order to make that room for the spacer again. Okay, and now is the fun task of reassembling everything, which is not fun. That was sarcasm. Well, that has been a very successful repair. I'm really pleased with how this has turned out. The hinge on it is absolutely solid. It's nice to have the box, although it's not the original one that I had. I now have a bag of spare parts with a working Nintendo DS in it. It's just missing this piece. So as I said, I'm going to order up the aftermarket replacement shells, and we're going to assemble that on my second channel and see if they're any good. So subscribe to that second channel, link will be in the description. Before we have a look at the final unit, I just want to say a massive thank you to Audible for sponsoring this video. In a generation filled with constant noise and busyness, it's sometimes hard to find an escape to give your mind some well-needed peace and relaxation. Audible is a great way to zone out from the madness whilst also listening to a vast offering of audio literature. I'm currently listening to former British Marine Ant Middleton's Mind Over Muscle. Ant teaches that the power of the mind is stronger than physicality. We're all fatigued from screens, and listening is a great way to occupy the mind whilst giving the eyes a much needed break. Every month, members get 1 credit to pick any title, 2 Audible originals, as well as guided meditation programs. Visit audible.com/TRF or text TRF to 500 500 to start your 30-day free membership. So let's go ahead and power the bad boy on. I have gone through and set everything back up again, so it should be pretty much as it was before. Although obviously when you take the battery out, it is going to reset. So I just wanted to quickly walk around my Animal Crossing house just to take a look at what it looks like. It's been about, I don't know, probably 10 years since I've played this game, if not more. Here's the house. It's nothing to write home about. We've got a sort of a kitchen area up here. Yeah, oh, there's cockroaches everywhere, which is lovely. And then I don't really remember what I've got in all the other rooms. I think there's 3 more rooms to look at. Although in the new Animal Crossing, you've got a basement and stuff, so that's really cool. So yeah, this is like a Cybertron sort of room with furniture that matches. I should admit, I think some of this was action replayed in. My friend Alex had an action replay, and I remember us using that, I think, to cheat some stuff in. So I don't know how much of this is legit, although I did sink a lot of time into this game. I can absolutely promise you that much. Let's take a quick look upstairs. I don't know what's up there. And then we'll wrap up this video. It's been a really fun one. I've really enjoyed this. Sorry about the microphone, by the way, earlier on. Hopefully that's not too annoying. So yeah, there's a little aquarium sort of thing in there. And then upstairs is the bedroom with the 3 people just lying there unconscious. It's kind of creepy if you think about it. Yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I really hope you've enjoyed. If you go and fix your DS and you get stuck, join my Discord and my community Facebook page. The link to both of those will be in the description, and you'll find me in there or someone else very equipped with the knowledge to help you fix the stuff that you may break in the process of trying to fix it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.